Coaching search. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA Talk 1580 and the Empowerment Congress, pursuing justice through participatory democracy. Listen to KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday morning, January 13th, from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. for an exclusive forum featuring the candidates for LA County District Attorney. Join KBLA's Tavis Smiley as he helps navigate what promises to be a forum full of fire when the candidates trying to unseat current LADA George Gascon come together on stage on the campus of the Charles R. Drew University of Medicine and Science. Again, it's the LA County District Attorney Forum, live, exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580, Saturday morning, January 13th, 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Helping to raise your civic IQ. We're KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black.
First things first.
First things first, it's the DU General, Money B. I'ma put you up on the schedule, 6 to 9, 8 weekdays, not 2 and 7. Let's go. We got a lot to talk about, so much to pedal through. Unapologetically progressive. Tune to KBLA 1580 to get the mess. We're your ancestors' favorite radio station. First black on talk radio, left side of the nation. Me and Dominique DiPrima go way back. Smiley making sure the station stays black. Discussing all the issues in our community. We're hosted black and brown and others find unity. So let's talk about it. Maybe we can improve it. Digital underground, always down with the movement. So we tune in. The first things first with the queen of Black Talk Radio, Dominique DiPrima. Go sis. First things first.
KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. And God bless. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First. My first thing today and every day, giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God, asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders, and getting it going. Your day, my day, Miles's day. That's why we call it First Things First. If you've been up, welcome in. So this is what we do. Typically, hour one, we look to the left coast, the Pacific side of town. Hour two, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive with a person of interest or a hot topic, something along those lines. Today is sort of like that, but sort of not. It's a little bit jam-packed. Of course, you're still welcome in every hour at 800-920-1580, 800-920-1580. You are always, always welcome into our chat space, hangout space on YouTube. It's youtube.com and then KBLA 1580. And I love to communicate with you on all the apps, Twitter, X, Instagram, Facebook. It's KBLA 1580. You can find me at DiPrima Radio, DIPRIMA, and then radio. Like I said, we got a lot going on today, so the best time to call is all the time. We will be talking in hour three about the latest developments in this battle. Really, the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, the folks that were supposed to be good shepherds of the money that ended up being some greedy consultants running off with the dollars. Well, there is some more movement in court, and between the real Black Lives Matter, which is Black Lives Matter grassroots. So we'll break that down. Dr. Melina Abdullah will be with us. We will be hearing from Councilwoman Heather Hutt in hour two, and also, of course, it's a Wealth Building Wednesday, so you'll get some breaking news for those in Los Angeles about a business we all know and love, Black-owned business, and then. Of course, there's Right Now, where we're focusing on the local. So all that is happening. You are invited in. I think I mentioned, I know you know that tomorrow we are honoring, we, the city of Los Angeles. That's the we that I'm using right there. Honoring Reverend James Lawson, who is just one of the architects of the civil rights movement, an advisor and counselor to Dr. Martin Luther King, among many others, the main scholar of the nonviolent resistance movement. He will be getting his, I don't know what you call it. I guess it's signage on Adams Boulevard outside of Holman Church. It will become Reverend James Lawson Way. And so in honor of that, we will play my interview. I had a chance to sit down with the 95-year-old icon. That will be tomorrow. And I will be out there as one of the MCs for that fabulous event, which you are invited to. There's a screening of the movie Rustin. There's a presentation. It starts at 3 o'clock in front of Holman. There's a march. A lot of electeds will be out there speaking. So definitely something to tap into if you're interested in civic engagement, if you're interested in some real powerful and living history regarding Dr. King's birthday. It's already starting, so much going on. And of course, on Monday, for the Martin Luther King holiday, aside from the Iowa caucuses, KBLA is co-sponsoring the Leimert Park Festival, which happens after the parade. The Kingdom Day Parade is still on. Don't hear as much about it, but it's still going on. And afterwards, we gather in Leimert Park. There's booths, there's vendors, music, food, all kinds of things. KBLA is one of the sponsors of that. So we will see you there on Monday. Man, we got a lot going on. Well, that's the norm, right, for MLK week. It's like we come out of the holiday season, we come right into that, and then boom, it is time for Black History Month. Never a dull moment around here. But in Los Angeles, for those tracking, you may be thinking or looking forward to, hopefully you are looking forward to all of these big things coming to town, right? We have the Olympics coming. Some are against it. I'm a fan of the Olympics. I love to see the international camaraderie, the athleticism, and the opportunity. And then we also have the World Cup coming here. And I always look forward to all the amazingly handsome. No, I look forward to, I'm not lying. That's true. But also the competition and people from all over the world will be visiting our city. What does that mean? It means infrastructure building. You already see it happening at the airport. And you already see it happening in Inglewood with the People Mover, which is going to the airport. So, what does that mean for us? How do we as Angelenos get a piece of that action as far as dollars and cents? How do we, particularly as Black businesses, get a piece of that? How do we share in the wealth? Because certainly it is our taxpayer dollars that are making all of this stuff happen, and all of us will benefit from it. Well, there's something called the LA Infrastructure Forum, and one of their aims is to help us figure out, as business people and residents here in LA, just that. Joining me this morning, we have the president and chief executive officer of that. She's got over 25 years of experience in insurance brokerage and property and casualty insurance, surety and risk management. They have developed a special strategy called aligned risk management, and they have administered contractor development programs for the city of Los Angeles, LA Metro, the county of Los Angeles, Alameda County, and the city and county of San Francisco. All things that make a lot of sense as far as where we are right now, the crossroads that we are at here in Los Angeles. Ingrid Merriweather, welcome back.
Yes, good morning. Thank you for having me back in. Happy New Year.
Same to you. Well, I have a rule. Once MLK Day passes, we're not allowed to say Happy New Year anymore. So we got a few more days. Happy New Year to you. Now, tell me, what is the LA Infrastructure Forum?
Well, it's really a reference to an effort at collaborating on policies, practices, and programs that are going to create access to public contracting opportunities. A lot of those will be in construction, as you referenced, because of things like the infrastructure bill and funding funds mostly construction-related projects. But it's an effort to have a collaborative response to what is it going to take to have true access to contract opportunities, the engagement of small, diverse businesses, including Black businesses, their successful participation, and their ability to participate in generational wealth building, which inures from being involved in mega, multi-billion-dollar public construction that goes on within a region in a time frame that kind of covers the span that you referenced, from the Olympics to back to today. That's going to be billions of dollars that are going to get spent. And we want to make sure that Angelinans, diverse communities get a healthy share of those types of contract opportunities, because the legacy that comes from that is building businesses and building generational wealth.
Right. I mean, it seems like a lot of those projects are already in motion. The upgrade of the LA airport, the people mover, and, some of this expanded metro, infrastructure. It's already in motion. And I feel like sometimes it seems that this stuff is just passing us by, passing our communities by, our businesses by. You see the money flowing, but it doesn't seem to be really exiting on any of the off-ramps that we live in.
Mm-hmm.
Is that a fair assessment, or am I not aware of Black-owned businesses, BIPOC-owned enterprises that are really involved right now?
Yeah, I'd say some of both. You're not wrong that the money is already flowing, and it does give you the sense that the trains already left the station. But there actually are BIPOC businesses, including Black businesses, that are getting some very significant contract opportunities. We just happen to administer a program that you referenced for 3 of the major LA agencies that purpose is to make sure diverse businesses get to participate in these projects by removing some of the systemic barriers that have historically precluded them from participating. So we kind of have a bit of a front row seat to see that, yes, minority businesses are getting contract opportunities, both as subcontractors to larger firms, but also direct contract opportunities as primes. So both with the City of LA, LAX for sure, LA Metro, LA County, and all 3 of these agencies are also now signature to the Equity in Infrastructure Project, which is an even further reflection of a level of commitment, a very public-specific commitment that they have made to ensuring that diverse firms are going to get contract opportunities with these agencies. And then I'd make one more comment, and that is those agencies that I just referenced and that you've referenced, yes, there's the infrastructure bill and the funding that will come from that, but those agencies are doing construction nonstop 24/7. So whether it's infrastructure funded or not, just the ongoing operation, maintenance, everyday construction is still in the billions of dollars. So we don't have to wait for an infrastructure funding of mega dollars. There is ongoing dollars that are spent by these agencies, construction and otherwise, in the billions of dollars. So it's not like this window of time, and if we miss it, the opportunity is lost.
Yeah, that's a good point. Okay, just really quickly,
yeah.
I want to circle back on a couple things you said. Whether you're sub or prime, you mean whether you're subcontracting with a larger, corporation as a Black-owned or BIPOC-owned business, you might be kind of part of a project, but not directly, as opposed to prime, which means what?
Prime means that you are the one under contract directly with the agency, that you have won the bid or the RFP opportunity directly. You have the direct contract with the agency.
RFP, request for proposal, for those not familiar.
Yes.
Yeah. When we come forward, I also want you to break down, when you say, talk about these folks have committed to equity inside of infrastructure and diversity. What does that exactly mean? Who are those folks? We'll meet another party to this LA Infrastructure Forum and really get into some concrete, details about how people, our KBLA delegation, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, owners, operators, how you can take steps right now to get involved. As Ingrid Merriweather says, not just in the big billion-dollar projects that are in motion, but in the ongoing, and we see it everywhere, so seemingly endless stream of building and development that is happening in Southern California. I'm Dominique DiPrima, and you're listening to KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. So, what are you doing this Friday morning? How about you come join the KBLA delegation as we make a historic announcement and unveil our climate justice campaign for 2024. We'll be assembled for this major press conference along with LA Mayor Karen Bass, Ben Jealous, Executive Director of the Sierra Club, and a host of other public and private leaders who are joining us on this journey to justice, climate justice. We can't think of a better way to kick off the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. holiday weekend, linking social justice and climate justice. So, come join us this Friday morning at 10:30 a.m. at the beautiful MLK Memorial Tree Grove at the top of Kenneth Hahn Park off La Cienega. Once again, that's this Friday morning, January 12th at 10:30 a.m. as we take on the task of elevating the climate conversation by amplifying the voices of those who are most impacted by the climate catastrophes we are all witnessing in real time. KBLA delegation, we hope to see you this Friday morning at KBLA Talk 1580. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king. Climate is king.
You know that Big Bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right?
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Ooh, pass me the intercom thingy.
Attention shoppers. If you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Don't pay for water, pay for clean. If it's gotta be clean, it's gotta be Tide Pods.
Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Don't miss out on limited time appliance deals during the closeout event at Lowe's. Get up to 35% off select major appliances. Plus, save an extra $100 when you spend $999 or more on all major appliances. Hurry, these deals are too good to last long. Shop in-store or online today. Because Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid 1/4 through 1/24. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for details.
We've got a lot to talk about.
Hi, I'm Zoe Williams, a.k.a. the Voice of Reason, encouraging you to join me weekdays from 7 to 9 p.m. for the world's most intriguing relationship radio roundtable. Every night, I facilitate and encourage our loyal listeners to participate in the most engaging relationship discussions you'll hear anywhere. So make it a point to rendezvous with me, Zoe Williams, the Voice of Reason, Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Trust me, your relationships will never be the same. The VOR is on fire tonight.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
So lots of dollars flowing here. Ingrid Merriweather is with me. She's president and CEO with many years' experience in the insurance business, but also in infrastructure development, part of the LA Infrastructure Forum. And you mentioned this equity and infrastructure project. You also talked about how various agencies are making a commitment. So who are we talking about? Equity and infrastructure is a national commitment, right?
That is correct. It was an initiative founded by a number of gentlemen, including Phil Washington, who used to be the president and CEO of LA Metro. And it's in conjunction with the infrastructure bill and something referred to as Justice 40 within the infrastructure bill that says 40% of the benefit of infrastructure spending should go to communities who have been disenfranchised in a number of ways. So contracting is just one of those aspects. But the other relates to just something you ran during the break talking about climate equity. And so you're going to have this kind of triple bottom line effect where these dollars are going to be expended. That means contract opportunities, and some of the construction will be, zero carbon, clean energy development. And so that's kind of an example of ways in which there are a multitude of ways to achieve more equity by addressing what has been, kind of the historic environmental discrimination that minority communities have experienced, but also participating in the economic benefit that comes from
right.
that.
I mean, we call it environmental racism. We're still experiencing it.
Yeah.
Right here in LA, look at where most of these oil wells are and how they continue to operate, where there are schools and people working out and all kinds of things. So, yeah. It's an important piece, and for those who are not paying attention when we're having our PSAs, Friday we have a big announcement on KBLA's commitment to climate justice. It'll be up at Kenneth Hahn Park, where the MLK Memorial Grove is, and a lot of electeds will be there, and we are committed to doing something about the climate emergency in general, and specifically environmental justice.
Yeah. And you asked about the agencies who've signed this equity and infrastructure pledge. So it includes LA County. Matter of fact, they had multiple departments, along with Supervisor Holly Mitchell, make this very public commitment to equity in contracting with LA County. You had LAX or LAWA. You had LA Department of Water and Power. You have the Port of Long Beach. You have the Port of LA, Metropolitan Water District, and I think I've covered all.
But
of
that's
the ones
just a
in
pledge.
LA
I mean,
so far.
there's no legal teeth to it. They're just saying we mean to do this, right? So that means
and quite honestly, it's a pledge of what is referred to as a coalition of the willing, because you are aware, Dominique, that even right now we're dealing with what I call blacklash or backlash from anything around diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Yeah, we'll get into that.
Challenged right now.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little later. I want to bring in another voice who's actually joining us this morning. He's the president and owner of a company called Global Electric. William Jackson, good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How are you?
I'm great. Welcome in. So tell me how, you are the owner. You're running this company. Tell me a little bit about your company.
Sure. Global Electric is a electrical contractor that focuses exclusively on public works projects, and particularly in the transportation space is kind of our sweet spot. So what we've been doing is working on a lot of LA Metro stations. We are currently working on the new Purple Line going through West LA, and we have multiple scopes on that project. As you and Ingrid spoke about, we are a subcontractor, so we tend to be the electrical contractor, or as a small business, minority-owned business, we may also be in second position, which is called a second-tier sub. So we may work beneath a larger electrical contractor as well.
When you say minority-owned, be specific. What does that mean?
I'm an African-American, so we are an African-American-owned business.
A Black-owned business. Okay, I gotcha.
Black-owned.
And do you... Tell me how you see the stuff like the Equity and Infrastructure Project, the LA Infrastructure Forum, and, has any of this actually aided you in getting more opportunities?
Absolutely. Contracting with large public agencies is a bit intimidating, so you kind of need a little bit of information, a little bit of support to get involved and try to find those right doors to knock on. And that's why Merriweather and Williams has been so instrumental to us, because they've helped us find opportunities. I get lead opportunities mailed to me on a regular basis from Merriweather and Williams, and they also help me with my bonding, which is one of the most difficult parts of being a small subcontractor, is being able to qualify for a bond.
Right, which is basically securing the project, right, Ingrid?
Yeah, it's a guarantee of your performance.
Yeah. So that's something I hear a lot, actually, William Jackson, this idea that, I want to do business with the county. I want to be working with LAWA, LA World Airports, but the paperwork maze, the bureaucratic, mountain is a high one to climb.
That is absolutely true. It's a little bit challenging at first, but if you start small and you kind of find a niche that you're most comfortable with, and meet the right people and introduce yourself, and if you continue to bid projects, you will ultimately win something. But if you don't bid, you can never win.
You got to play to win. When you say start small, what does that mean?
It means there are set-aside contracts and contracts available to small businesses that may be, say, under $150K, that are a little bit more attainable for small businesses, as opposed to trying to go after a multi-million-dollar project that involves a lot more sophistication, a lot more backroom administration. And, with Public Works, you have certain responsibilities in terms of certified payrolls that you have to generate and turn into the state. And it's a little bit more of a complex transaction, but they're all small contracts. There are service contracts or maintenance or even janitorial or just moves, adds, and changes. And those may be a little bit more attainable to at least get your foot in the door.
And do you find that if you start small, that and you are working with various people, networking, that you can move your way up to larger projects, or that plenty of small projects exist to keep those more, small size businesses busy?
Absolutely. There are tons of opportunities on that smaller scale, and some are even set aside for small business and even minority-owned businesses, because any project having federal dollars will probably have what's called a DBE associated with it, a disadvantaged business entity requirement. State of California did away with race conscious set-asides, but the federal contracts still have a race conscious component to it. So if you see the term DBE or MBE, minority business entity, that is a race conscious program that is looking for disadvantaged businesses, whether it be minorities, women, and disabled veterans as well.
Yeah, we got news, traffic, and sports right now, and I want to talk what Ingrid Merriweather brought up about the attacks on DEI, especially since what you just raised, William Jackson. We'll look at that and more, and how you can get an opportunity when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. U.S. Senators Marsha Blackburn and Tom Tillis are co-sponsoring a bill to punish protesters who block public roads and highways. Tennessee Republican Blackburn says the bill is in direct response to radical tactics of pro-Palestinian protesters who have intentionally blocked roads across the country. In Louisiana, the American Civil Liberties Union is getting lawyered up just in case it does not like the results of next week's special redistricting session. Governor Jeff Landry called the special legislative session in response to a federal judge's order. The judge ruled that the congressional district map approved last year by Louisiana's Republican-led legislature dilutes the black vote in the state. And that's the latest. I'm Mike Moore from your 24/7 news source, the Black Information Network and BINnews.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop out to help their family put food on the table. You can help change their future in a single moment. See how far your support can go at unbound.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
The Lakers are back at 500 after a one-point win last night over Toronto. First time they have won consecutive games since December 7th. Strong game from Anthony Davis. He scored 20 of his game-high 41 points in the fourth quarter. AD also had 11 rebounds. LeBron had 22 points and 12 assists. Toronto is staying in town to play the Clippers tonight at Crypto.com. The Clippers are only 3 games behind Minnesota for the best record in the Western Conference. Tip-off time tonight is 7:30. 4 NFL teams are now looking for a new head coach. Tennessee fired Mike Vrabel on Tuesday. Tennessee joins the Chargers, Atlanta, and Washington in the search for a new head coach. Magic Johnson, part owner of the Washington Commanders, hired former Golden State GM Bob Myers to assist him with the Commanders' coaching search. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
The possibility of lung cancer can be pretty scary, especially if you're one of approximately 8 million current or former smokers at high risk. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know that now there's a breakthrough low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early, and it only takes 60 seconds. You stop smoking, now start screening. For an easy quiz to see if you're eligible, visit SaveByTheScan.org. It could save your life. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
Mom's early Alzheimer's diagnosis was hard to take.
And when I left the oven on, we decided together that it was time to see a doctor and make a plan.
Early detection gave us more time to seek out information and support as a family.
If you or your family are noticing changes, it could be Alzheimer's. Talk about seeing a doctor together. For more information, visit alz.org/time to talk. A message from the Alzheimer's Association and the Ad Council.
KBLA Talk 1580 is the exclusive media sponsor of this light of ours, activist photographers of the Civil Rights Movement. A dynamic new exhibition on view now at the Skirball Cultural Center in Los Angeles. This light of ours showcases more than 150 photos taken by movement insiders from diverse backgrounds that reveal the vital work undertaken by a broad coalition of organizers and everyday people whose collective action changed America. This light of ours is one of 3 temporary exhibitions currently on view at the Skirball, which together explore issues related to civil rights, immigration, and pluralism. Tickets and more information for all 3 exhibitions are available at skirball.org. That's skirball.org. SKIRBALL.org.
For all of us, this generation and the next, there is simply no place in our lives for litter. And yet, it's everywhere we look, and unfortunately, it does belong to all of us. So let's come together and create a litter-free, clean California once and for all. Remember to properly dispose of your trash and recycling. Secure truckloads with tarps to keep debris from flying out. Clean out your car when you're at the gas station. Take pride in your community by organizing a cleanup event or join a cleanup event near you. Zero litter is the goal. Join us at cleanca.com. That's cleanca.com. Let's do it together. Brought to you by Caltrans. cleanca.com.
Jim was at the laundromat when he heard his ear said Maraca, senor, but his nose said, hey, freshest scent ever. Following his nose, Jim found a man pouring Gain scent beads into the washer. The scent, the freshness. Jim blurted, sir, your scent maracas smell amazing. You could call them scent maracas, but most noses call them Gain scent beads. Try Gain scent beads. Way fresher than detergent alone.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
Of course I use Mr. Clean Magic Eraser to clean tough messes off my stovetop and bathtub. But then I discovered I can also use it to easily clean my patio furniture and even my shoes. I'm hooked.
And when wipes won't cut it, I use Magic Eraser Sheets. They're thin and flexible erasers, perfect for everyday messes, like gunk on my counters and sinks. They really are magical.
The reviews are in. Mr. Clean Magic Eraser and Sheets make cleaning look easy.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
And yes, indeed, I'm glad to have you with me this morning. Money, money, money. Everybody needs it. Everybody wants it. Well, most people do, especially if you're a small business owner. And, you know, here in LA County, the opportunities are bountiful. We've got some folks here to help us, help you get a piece of it. If you have a small business already, some things you should know. Ingrid Merriweather is president and CEO of Merriweather Williams and a member of the LA Infrastructure Forum. William Jackson, president and owner of Global Electric. So you mentioned, Mr. Jackson mentioned MBEs and DBEs. Ms. Merriweather, you were talking about how we have these national attacks on DEI, diversity, equity, inclusion. I think it started in Florida with the banning of DEI in universities there, and it seems to be picking up steam. Supreme Court, of course, banning affirmative action. Can those federal programs like the MBE and the DBE that he was talking about, can those even survive? Can equity and infrastructure, outlast the Supreme Court? Can those kinds of initiatives to help underrepresented businesses, even if it doesn't specifically say Black or BIPOC, can they be long for this world?
Yeah. Well, we all need to pray that they survive, because they're very important programs that have been proven necessary to create equity. Mr. Jackson made reference to California losing its affirmative action, 28 years ago now. If you recall, Prop 209 ended affirmative action in the state of California. And there was a study done about 20 years after that proposition passed where they wanted to see what was the effect of it. And they looked at, this was done by the Felton Henderson Center at UC Berkeley, which is kind of rich since it was a UC Berkeley regent, Ward Connolly, that, brought about the end of affirmative action in California. But anyway, they did this study. They focused on Caltrans, the number of minority businesses who had been doing business with Caltrans before Prop 209 and how many had been doing business with them 20 years later. And what they determined was 75% of the businesses that had been doing business with Caltrans, not only were they not doing business with Caltrans, but they were out of business 20 years later. They were gone. And so there's been the evidence that proves you need these specific programs requiring participation, because it does not happen organically for many of the reasons that we already understand. So the challenges against the MWBE programs, the DBE program has now been sued in the state of Tennessee, are very concerning. And that's why things like the Equity and Infrastructure Project, which is not about rules and regulations or policies requiring it. It is a coalition of willing participants who find that inclusion and participation of all types of businesses is important, not just because of equity, but also to increase competition. These are public-funded taxpayer dollars. You want as many businesses competing for these contracts as possible, because that affects costs. So I think that the efforts can continue. We may have to call things differently. We may have to do things a bit differently. But the need to have a large number of businesses enabled to compete for public contracts is critically important, and should be sustained no matter how much they challenge race and gender specific requirements.
Yeah, I mean, you can see the same impact with Prop 209 in, the elite college admissions for public universities like UCLA, UC Berkeley, Black and Latino and others have plummeted their admissions. And so it's doing what it was intended to do, which is keep us out. So, that said, as you mentioned, some folks are finding ways around it, but Let me ask you, William Jackson, what do you think when you're partnering with a larger corporation as a subcontractor or a second tier sub, getting involved and being approved to work on these projects? What do you think they're looking for that many BIPOC-owned businesses, small businesses overlook or, just don't have together yet?
Yeah, that's a tough question, but I think what they're really looking for is a business who is really qualified to perform the work at a level that is considered to be quality work that they can put their name behind, and as a partner, you are going to impact their ability to perform the scope. So you really have to know your trade. And when you're in public works, you have to really be on top of your paperwork, because there are ramifications if your paperwork is not done well or is done sloppily. So they really are looking for qualified subs who can actually come to the table and perform the work.
Yeah, the paperwork ceiling, a lot of us, struggle with that. And some of it is perception, where we think we can't do a thing, but there's people to help you. You don't have to do it yourself. You can actually go to, a business incubator. You can go to someone, I guess, like you, Ingrid Merriweather, but you could go to a Vermont Slauson Economic Development Corporation. You can get involved with a number of organizations that are available, or private companies that can help you, just like, you don't fix your own plumbing. And you don't say, well, I'll just have a stopped-up toilet because I'm not a plumber. No, you hire someone that knows how to do it. I'm going to ask you the same question, Ingrid Merriweather. What do you see these opportunities, whether they be subcontracting or primes, that they're seeking, that we, particularly as Black-owned businesses, but small businesses in general, need to step up on?
Yeah. Well, I'll underscore a lot of what William said. I mean, one, you want to show up prepared. You can't show up and say, well, I'm a Black business. You need minority businesses, so you have to do business with me. That mentality won't get you anywhere. And matter of fact, it does harm to all of us. So as you might say, you need to come correct. You need to make sure that your business financials are in good order. William can probably give testament to the fact that most of these companies, especially in construction, they're going to pre-qualify you. They're going to put you through a process to determine whether or not you are qualified at the level that they need to take you on, because they're responsible for your performance to the owner themselves. So find out, what is pre-qualification look like? Let me get my paperwork in order. Let me look as strong as I possibly can. And as you've already mentioned, there are organizations, ours being one, but there are others who will provide business with the type of assistance so that they can make a good presentation for their business. Then I think the other part that's really important that William also mentioned is start small. Don't overshoot. I know a $3 million contract sounds more exciting than a $300,000 one, but a $3 million failure can put you out of business. And so this starting small, growing gradually while you are putting in place the necessary backroom effort to make sure you do the paperwork right. If you're going to make a mistake, you don't want to make it on a $3 million contract. So don't underestimate the importance of the administrative side of performing a contract. Make sure you have the resources or some external support that you're getting that part done correctly. Because once you understand that and really inculcate that in how you do business, then as the contracts get larger, that gets easier. The process is the same even on a larger contract. So once you learn to do things like certified payroll, that will transition onto larger projects and get easier over time. So start small, make sure your business is in good health before you pursue the opportunities, as good as it can be, and then take advantage of the resources like our program and others whose purpose is to help put you in a better position, make a better presentation, and be ready for the contract opportunities that should be coming your way.
When we come forward, I want to talk about where to start. How do you start climbing that bureaucratic mountain? and what are some of the places we should be looking? To your point, it's not just the airport. It's not just the metro, but even within those big behemoths, where should we be looking as small businesses, as Black-owned businesses, for those opportunities that we might not be paying attention to that could be make or break? And so sad to hear what you said about 75% of those businesses post 2009 either not getting the business anymore or actually going bankrupt. So we'll look at that stuff when we come forward exclusively on KBLA Talk 1580.
The station you turn to when you've had it up to gear with cultural incompetence. KBLA Talk 1580.
There are many things to love about winter. Cozy sweaters, celebrations, and family time. But winter can also bring many stressors. Extra expenses, seasonal bugs, and so much family time. If you and your loved ones are feeling stressed or anxious this winter, CalHope can help. Check out our free mental health resource at calhope.org today.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. Single Moms Planet is a nonprofit organization dedicated to uplifting under-resourced single mom business owners and working mothers nationwide. Single Moms Planet offers comprehensive programs of financial literacy, business development, mentorship, and entrepreneurial training. They provide education, accountability, and hope. Single Moms Planet was founded by model, TV personality, and producer Nefertiri Plessy. Nefertiri felt firsthand the challenges that face single moms as she was raised by a working single mother. She learned that the most disadvantaged group in the United States are single mom families. According to the U.S. Census, 30% live under the poverty line. So she decided to do something about it, along with co-founder Cole Patterson. Their goal is to end the poverty cycle in single mother households through education, opportunity, and networking, providing family and child enrichment programs for under-resourced single-parent families. Single Moms Planet serves over 10,000 single moms and their children each year. Studies show that business development and financial literacy provide a positive environment for children and families, exposing them to new possibilities and opportunities. To attend one of their fun events, make a donation, or get more information, or if you need help as a single mom, please visit singlemomsplanet.org. That's singlemomsplanet.org. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, banking with Capital One is the easiest decision in the history of decisions. Even easier than choosing Charles Barkley in a pickup game.
We'll take Barkley.
Ha! First pick. Sorry, kids.
Yep, even easier than that. With no fees or minimums and no overdraft fees, is it even a decision?
Okay, here's the plan. Pass me the ball every time.
This is banking reimagined. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com/bank for details. Capital One NA, member FDIC.
This is KBLA Talk 1580, where hate loses and love wins.
Yep, there's a lot of money out there, and I would love to see more of us. By us, I mean Black businesses. By us, I mean BIPOC-owned, women-owned, small businesses, local enterprises get these dollars so we can keep them flowing here. Ingrid Merriweather is joining me. She's the president and CEO of Merriweather Williams, also part of the LA Infrastructure Forum. William Jackson, president and owner of Global Electric. So where should we be looking? I guess I'll start with you, William Jackson. What are we overlooking? I mean, most people know about the airport, know about the metro, but even those are such massive organizations, and that could mean missed opportunities if we're not well-versed, right?
That is correct. And I think the most important thing for a small, diverse business to do is to really network and start looking at some of the resources available to us to meet corporations. There are many corporations that have diversity and inclusion goals, and they are sincere in trying to find small Black-owned and minority-owned businesses to work with. As an example, the SoFi, I believe, has a group that focuses on small local businesses. And if you look at some of the local minority newspapers and like LA Business Journal, there are advertisements there for small businesses, DBE set-asides. Those are in there every day. And I see those opportunities, and we reach out to some of the general contractors and submit a bid, and you're going to win your fair share.
I love that networking. Or do you belong, Mr. Jackson, do you belong to like chambers of commerce? I remember one time having a conversation with the mayor of Inglewood, James Butts, and he said, well, the first thing a business should do is join their local chamber of commerce.
Well, I don't belong to that particular group, but I do belong to the Minority Contractors Group in Los Angeles, NAMC.
So trade associations.
Trade associations, yes. National Association of Minority Contractors, and that's been instrumental in networking with like-minded people who are in the same position, that go through the same challenges I do on a daily basis, and it's good to know there's somebody out there like you who's going through the same thing and has figured out a way to still be successful.
Ingrid Merriweather, if I am trying to do all the things that you and William Jackson have said, have our paperwork tight, our bid has to look good, not overreaching, having our financials in alignment. It sounds a little overwhelming. Where do we start?
Well, it's probably a good idea to start with getting certified, because once you are certified, you're going to automatically start receiving information about contract opportunities within your particular field. So most certifications have something called a next code. That basically it's a code that's in association with whatever your specific type of business is, and you can have multiple next codes. But when you get certified with the City of LA or LA County, you'll then be in a database, so you'll start receiving not just contract bid opportunities, but you'll also receive information that's targeted towards small businesses. So information about our program, for example, and that resource, information about other initiatives that the agency may be engaged in focused on small business. And then that certification is important because as larger firms are looking to bid on projects and they require them to have small local business participation, you want to be a certified firm because you would then be a firm they would get credit for.
How do you get certified?
Go to the website for any agency, City of LA, LA County, LA Metro, put in certification in a search engine if you don't see it, and it will pop up. Or you can also contact our office at info@imwis.com, and we will assist you with the certification process with any one of those agencies.
info@imwis.com.
Exactly.
And talk to me about your program. What is it? What do you mean when you say that? What does that consist of?
So our program, which is supported by the City of LA, LA County, and LA Metro, is called the Contractor Development and Bonding Assistance Program. We also do contract financing. And so as Mr. Jackson referred to, bonding for contractors is just one of those, what feels like an insurmountable bar to get over, because qualifying for bonding is like qualifying for credit. And when it comes to being a small and minority business, our financials don't always have the same strength as larger companies. It makes it hard to qualify for. So our program is a resource that's funded by these agencies where we will actually put collateral up on your behalf to help you qualify for bonding with a bonding company. So that's one of the resources we provide, a tremendous amount of technical assistance, and then also contract funding. So the other big challenge, once you get over all the hurdles to pursue a contract and you bid on something and you're awarded, well, now you got to figure out, well, where's the money going to come from? because you have to fund the prosecution of your work until you start getting progress payments.
Yeah.
And that is going to be typically a minimum of 60 days, and that's if everything is perfect, and it's more likely going to be longer than that. So you have to have the ability to fund your labor costs, your material purchases, the ongoing operations of your business while you're waiting to get paid and reimbursed. And so we started a few years ago with contract financing, where we work with community development financial institutions who want to fund minority businesses who've been awarded public contracts. So we can extend money to you in conjunction with a contract you've been awarded with one of those agencies. And it's not based on your financials, and it's not based on your credit. We essentially collateralize the contract and advance you funds that you will be getting paid back through progress payments. So that's key in helping ensure you're going to have some working capital, because you don't want to start a contract and have no means of raising the funds necessary to cover your costs while you wait that long cycle to get paid.
I've been there. And now, is there a website specific to that?
It's all on the same website. So LACondev, LACONDEV.com will have all this information.
LACONDEV.com.
Yeah.
And, same question just real quickly here as we approach the top of the hour. Ingrid Merriweather, where should people be looking for opportunities that they're not?
Well, I would say if it were me, I would probably start with the city of LA, because they have a public works department. And so again, I put a lot of emphasis in construction, because there's construction and construction related opportunities. And as Mr. Jackson referred to, even service contracts, janitorial, security guard services. Those are great contracting opportunities that are accessible, that are oftentimes smaller in size. And so City of LA Public Works, they have something called community level contracting, where they're targeting contract opportunities at $150,000 and below. So that's where I would start. And then also there's RAMP, R-A-M-P, which is this City of LA sponsored this system that you can register on and be informed of contract opportunities, both in the public sector and the private sector throughout the region.
That's great stuff. Really quickly here, William Jackson, final word.
Yes, I'd just like to say that I know that what we've said today seems very complicated, and it sounds like it would be quite a challenge to get started. But the most important thing is to just take it one step at a time, start small, and make sure that that you're good at what you do. You bring a good trade, and you stand behind your word, and you answer your phone when it rings, and you will be successful.
Answer the phone, open the mail. 30 seconds here, Ingrid Merriweather. Bring us home.
Take advantage of the resources out there. Mayor Brett Bass and others are really serious about equity and opportunities, but if we don't show up and show we want to take advantage of them, they don't stay around. So it's really important to take advantage of the numerous efforts that are out there. Just plug into the process. You'll start learning what you need to learn.
Ingrid Merriweather and William Jackson, thank you so much. A wealth of information.
Our pleasure. Nice to talk with you again.
Absolutely. It is a Wealth Building Wednesday. Let's meet a small business, a Black-owned business. You know them, but they've got some new announcements. That's next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
Thank you for joining us, everyone. I'm Mike Moore. Here's the latest from the Black Information Network. U.S. Senators Marsha Blackburn and Tom Tillis are co-sponsoring a bill to punish protesters who block public roads and highways. Tennessee Republican Blackburn says the bill is in direct response to radical tactics of pro-Palestinian protesters who have intentionally blocked roads across the country. In Louisiana, the American Civil Liberties Union is getting lawyered up just in case it does not like the results of next week's special redistricting session. Governor Jeff Landry called a special legislative session in response to a federal judge's order. The judge ruled that the congressional district is.com.
Right now, there are young people across the world facing a tough choice: continue their dream of education or drop